This is Forge Daily with Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio Network.
Welcome to this episode of Forge Daily. I am your host, Mackenzie Barwell, checking in September 6th, 2024. It's been a while since I've done a solo episode, so I've got a lot to catch everybody up to speed on. Since it's match day -1, I'll talk to a few Forge players after practice, the ones recognized in last week's CPL Team of the Week, Jensen, Kalongo and Dom Samuel. I'll also talk about Cavalry's recent form to make sure everybody has the context they need ahead of tomorrow's matchup at home between Cavalry and Forge, 7 p.m. So let's get right into it, beginning with Forge FC's recent success against Pacific last week and an update to the current standings. Forge FC coming off a convincing 2-0 win against Pacific, keeping them at the top of the table with 38 points total. If you listened to this week's episode of Behind the Beard, you'd know that Cavalry FC trail Forge by just 4 points, but are currently sitting in third. In between these two teams are Atletico Ottawa. They've lost some momentum following 2 consecutive losses. That'll keep them in second place. In fourth is York United. They trail Cavalry by just 2 points. So the top 4 teams are really starting to separate themselves from the bottom half, given that gap between third and fourth is just 2 points. But the gap between fourth and a fifth place Vancouver FC is 6. Here's what Kalongo and Dom Samuel had to say on the team's overall confidence following their win against Pacific, but also their ability to maintain this first place spot through the remaining weeks of the regular season.
I think there's a lot of focus on a game-by-game basis now. I think the Pacific win was very important, especially after the TFC. We just needed to bounce back, and I feel like now we're hitting a good rhythm, and we could finish the season strong and go into playoffs with a good start.
I think it was a good way to end the month. It was a very busy month, and a good way to bounce back from the midweek game against TFC. It is what it is. We played well, but didn't get the result that we wanted. So this was the game to kind of get us back on track, winning ways, and to stay at the top of the league. So I think it was a good performance by the entire team, and just to kind of give us momentum moving forward. Mm-hmm. We obviously have a big test coming up against Cavalry. They're always a team that loves to fight, but they're coming here. It's an absolute nightmare to play us here. So, I think we're good.
Now, both Dom and Chris recognized in the CPL Team of the Week, so I inquired about their individual performances, asking what their mentality was entering the game against Pacific, what they attribute their success to, and with Chris specifically, how he was able to recover so quickly from his ankle injury and really just pick up where he left off.
I got the opportunity to start, which hasn't been the case for a little bit, but I just wanted to stay sharp and, make sure that I did my job to the best of my ability. Mentally I was ready, and I just needed to stay sharp and do my job, like I said. So,
mm-hmm. It was a little frustrating being out, especially during towards the bigger games of our season. But for me, it's just staying focused and doing the right things every day, and then coming back into the game knowing that I have the ability to do everything I need to do, and just trying to have a clean game and keep a clean sheet. So everything kind of worked out.
How does it feel knowing that even when those sorts of things that are out of your control happen to you, that somebody like Jas can step in and also get the job and not only providing the team that support, but also you that healthy competition?
I think it's very healthy competition. Every day we train hard with each other and try to push each other, talk, conversate about different ideas and stuff. And it's good for the team knowing that no matter who's in net, that they're going to hold down the fort and we can have a solid game.
You'll notice that both of these guys referenced bouncing back from that disappointing Canadian Championship result against TFC. So I asked how the team as a whole was really able to just readjust and pivot their focus to an achievement that is still possible, this CPL regular season title.
I think we, as a team, do very well distinguishing the two competitions. So, yes, obviously we wanted to win the cup. Just the culture here is that game is done. Yeah. Let's move on to the one ahead. I think we did that very well. We knew it was a massive game to stay at the top of the league, to kind of separate us from the Ottawas, the Yorks, the Cavalrys.
Yeah, obviously going into the tie the second leg being up 2-1. Obviously, not moving to the next round is a little upsetting, but I'm just proud of the boys because how we bounced back, and coming to the Pacific game, everyone was sharp and we played a very well, clean game. And so now it's just on to Calgary.
Mm-hmm. Looking ahead to tomorrow now, Forge and Cavalry are looking quite good. In their past 5 CPL matches, both teams have come away with 4 wins and 1 tie, leaving them undefeated in the month of August. Cavalry, though, in particular, as late as week 15 of the CPL, they were in 6th place, so they've made up some solid ground since then, despite suffering injuries from key players, including Tobias Warshevsky, William Accio, and Mile Henry. Their attack also looking good right now, considering Ali Musi and Fraser Aird are back into form. And defensively, also quite sound. Cavalry lead in crucial metrics like fewest goals conceded and fewest shots on their target. So this might be a Cavalry that looks a little more familiar and like the one that we saw toward the end of the 2023 season when they pulled away from the rest of the standings. If you're at all familiar with either side, you'd know that matches between these two teams are often tight, low scoring, and decided on very narrow margins, often set-piece situations being a crucial factor. I talked to Noah Jensen and asked him why he sees this result as so important and what challenges he anticipates Cavalry will pose.
I think all the games to close out the season are going to be really important, but especially the ones against the teams that are in the top half of the table. The one that's in front of us, obviously Calgary, they've been playing really well. I think they have won 5 out of their last 6 games. So they're one of the most informed teams in the league. We know that. But at the same time, Calgary is a familiar opponent. We know how to play against them. We know how to take advantage of the stuff that they'll give us during the game, and that stuff that's going to help us get 3 points on the weekend. I will say the times that we've played Calgary this season, they've almost had a completely different team every single time through injury and whatnot. But obviously, Ali Musi's back. He's a big player for them. They have a new striker in there. So their style is a lot more suited to how they play when they're at their best. And when they're at their best, they're operating well from set pieces. That's something that we have to take into consideration. We know how good their service can be and what they can draw up. So it's just more about staying locked in on the set pieces and not letting them take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Forge are right there with them in terms of form, coming off of that win against Pacific. Both goals scored were from you. So from an individual and team standpoint, what's looking to be translated into this game tomorrow?
Yeah, I think this past month has brought a lot of tests along with it. You know, we've obviously played a lot of games in so few amount of days. We had a big test against TFC, and honestly, we learned a lot of lessons from that game, but also we found that we could dig deep and get results in the league when we needed to, despite how compact the schedule was. And so for us, it's just a lot about momentum. We know that when we're playing well, it's a lot easier to continue that, and there's been a lot of drive in this group to get ourselves back to the top of the table, and that's something we'll look to continue and hopefully finish strong this season.
When did you find out that you would be the captain on the day, and what was your mindset going into the game?
Well, I walked into the locker room, saw the captain's armband in my locker, and first thing I did was text my sister, and I was like, you should watch the game tonight because I'll be doing the coin toss. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. And then 20 minutes later, she sent me a screenshot of the Forge post of the lineup, and it said Alex was captain.
Oh, no.
And she was like, why'd you lie to me? And I was like, no, I swear, just watch. So, but yeah, I didn't know before getting to the stadium. Obviously, it was a big honor to wear the captain's armband to lead my team out. And what better way to do it than to score a brace at home, get 3 points, and my family was there, so that was nice.
One other thing before I let you go. Why is your goal song Cotton Eye Joe?
You know what? I don't know, because honestly, I don't really even know the dance that well. But I have done the dance before, and I don't even know if that song was like that big when I was in school, but I just thought it like really captures my personality, and it really has like a nice, upbeat, joyful tempo that I think the stadium loves. So
I wasn't in the building, but I was watching the replays back. And both times I heard it,
you can hear it in the
faintly in the background. And I was like, there's no way.
But you see it pass to the fans, and they're like, that's the best part.
There you have it. That's the reason Noah Jensen chose Cotton Eye Joe. If you hear the song, don't be afraid to do the dance in the stands tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'll see everybody right here at Tim Hortons Field tomorrow, 7 p.m. to watch Forge FC take on Cavalry.
This has been Forge Daily with Mackenzie Barwell. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.
You chat a lot on the field. Would you say you talk more on the field than you do like just in real life?
Oh, like 1,000%. As soon as I'm off the field, I just chill out, man. As everybody says, as soon as I'm on the field, never stop talking. As soon as I'm off the field, I don't talk. I don't.
It's crazy how that works, but probably for a good reason.
Yeah, no, and it's something I have to grow into anyway. Because especially coming here, when I first got here, I was quiet. No, and Coach Joe hammered it into me. You need to talk everything.